Today, we're going to hear from frontline employees who are going to tell us what the realities of life are working in the Department of Corrections and the Department of Juvenile Justice.
If the governor's allowed to close the Elder Youth Center Joliet, then St. Charles, Harrisburg, and Kewanee will be receiving maximum security youth. And we're not equipped to deal with that type of youth. The violence is going to get worse. Kids and staff are going to get hurt.
Just this past Sunday night, there was a severe assault involving 5 inmates. One inmate targeted another inmate, chased him with a shank, and repeatedly stabbed him in the head, face, and wrist. 2 other inmates stood near the attack and struck another inmate who tried to intervene. A 5th inmate did intervene, and while attempting to get the shank away from the attacker, was also stabbed in the head during his assistance.
We also had a correctional counselor assaulted while conducting rounds on the gallery in E-House. The counselor heard the inmate say, "I got you now." The offender began punching him in the face. The counselor was hit numerous times. He was able to get the offender off him by stabbing him with a pen. His injuries include a fractured nose requiring surgery, an eye fracture which shoved his eye socket back 4 centimeters, resulting in 2 surgeries. A fractured cheekbone which required 1 surgery is now covered with wire mesh. Hematoma to his right ear requiring 1 surgery. 7 stitches to his right cheek, 3 stitches to his upper lip.
On June 5th, an inmate was being taken to segregation. The inmate spun around and hit the sergeant. An officer tried to contain the inmate. There was a struggle, and the inmate bit a large chunk out of him.
Henry mentioned the hostage situation at Dixon, and that inmate was inmate John Spires, who has been at TAMS since that incident occurred. He sent a letter to COGFA. He says, "To put me back into a regular prison setting, the safety of others and to myself will be in danger. I do not trust myself. A place like TAMS is needed. Just look at all the max joints, Stateville, Pontiac, and Menard. They are all in an uproar because TAMS may be closing, and they know, they meaning the inmates, know that there's nothing that can be done to them if TAMS closes. So what do they have to fear or lose if an officer or an inmate is killed? There has been no officer deaths since TAMS opened, and now you want to put all of us murderers and assaulters back among regular population. Don't you remember why you opened TAMS to begin with?"
Double selling segregation inmates and shipping more staff-intensive inmates to Pontiac is going to make a bad situation worse. I can foresee that it will be a very dangerous situation. Our population will rise to approximately 1,900 inmates, which is the same amount of inmates that were at Pontiac in July of 1978 during the worst riot in our prison system's history.
The impact on the people who work there and their communities is obvious. What's not as obvious is the impact on the system throughout the state. The governor's plan needs to be stopped.